In my defense, I did warn everybody that would be watching this video on my Instagram that the production quality of the first video for BC Brewery I was not going to be that great, but I don't care. I got a really good little stroke of inspiration to finally get this video up and running, because I was actually by the brewery that I'm featuring tonight the other day. So guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm BC Brewery. You guys are more than welcome to call me Robin if you would like. I am a transplant to the Pacific Northwest. I've been living in Seattle for a little bit, and then the past couple months have been up around the Vancouver area. I'm a big fan of obviously the craft beer world, or I wouldn't be putting so much effort into trying to create this channel to ultimately become a forum in which we can discuss what's going on in the BC beer scene. Being familiar with Portland, being familiar with Seattle, I feel like those are the places that a lot of people, when they think Pacific Northwest beer, their mind immediately goes to. I don't think they necessarily know, well, if I drive 2 hours north on I-5, I'm going to run into Vancouver, and I'm going to be introduced to all of these equally talented, innovative, amazing breweries. So this whole channel, all of the product is going to be geared towards raising awareness about what's going on up in BC, what kind of things are on trend up there. I've always loved that the BC beer market seems to be very well-rounded in terms of the styles you guys are producing. So let's get the word out about that. And I will also say, anybody that has some insight in as far as breweries, as far as releases, that you would like me to review on this channel, please leave it in the comment section. Email me, shoot me a message on Instagram if you tried something really fantastic and you want to kind of give it a platform to get people talking about it. So I said at the beginning of this video that I got a really good stroke of inspiration on what beer I wanted to feature as my first review for BC Brewery. I was kind of struggling with it, just because there's so many options, so many great options, especially when you start getting into the kind of limited release ones. And this brewery holds a special place in my heart. It was the first one that I ever went to in BC. I remember the day I went in there, walking in and seeing everything on tap, and I was like, this is great. There's not 56 IPAs on tap. IPA, not that I have anything against it. It's not my go-to style of beer. So walking into a brewery that, doesn't, to this day, to my knowledge, produce an IPA, and seeing a ton of Weiss beers and an ESB and some really fantastically made Pilsners was a really cool experience for me. And that brewery is Steel and Oak. They're down on 3rd Street in New Westminster. If anyone has never been by there, it's really close to the SkyTrain station. So definitely, if you're on your way home on a Friday afternoon and you just want to get off the SkyTrain for a little bit and pop down and go grab a drink, stop into this brew pub. It's very cozy. You guys can play cribbage, hang out, listen to really great music, and just kind of enjoy some really great beers. As far as those really great beers, the one I have for you guys is a limited release that they put out as kind of an experimental series to do some bottle conditioning. And it also happens to be my favorite style of beer, which is a Saison. So this one was released from Steel and Oak back in October. It's called Terra. Is a Saison style beer with turmeric, ginger, and other spices. I will foremention, I did not realize that there was apparently a star anise component to this beer, so I'm a little interested to see how that's going to come out. Anisette, star anise, anything licoricey to me is not my go-to flavor, but I do love ginger. I love the effervescence of a Saison, so I'm really excited to kind of see how these guys created Terra, what it's going to taste like. So without any ado, let's do what's really important, which is get the beer open and get it into a glass, okay? All right, so I guess I should probably do a little bit of a background on Saison. Belgian style beer. I recently read a blog where someone had mentioned that Saison is the beer you drink if you know craft beer. which I mean, I can appreciate that. But I really like to think of Saisons as the beer you drink if you don't know if you like craft beer. I always love recommending this style of beer, especially to someone that maybe is more of like a white wine drinker, doesn't really like something that's usually overly bitter, doesn't like anything that's overly hoppy, doesn't really like something that's super full-bodied. This one really usually has a really nice effervescence to it, doesn't hang around on the palate too long. It really usually will impart some really nice fruity esters as well, so aromatically it's really pleasant. And I think if you're a fan of like a white wine, it can maybe sometimes be a little reminiscent of that as well. And it's also a really great beer if you are someone that likes to pair things with food. It's very, very versatile. The effervescence will do wonderful in the way of scrubbing your palate clean after you have a dish that's really maybe fatty or juicy. And it's also not going to overpower something like a summer salad or like a really nice white meat. Terra in particular, the fact that it's got that turmeric component, a little bit of ginger, and then spices, I think would probably, and I think I mentioned in my Instagram page, I think it'd be a really great beer to pair alongside like a Thanksgiving dinner. You have a little bit of a spicy component usually on the turkey. It can be very savory, so this beer I think would pair wonderfully with it, really kind of accent that spicy component, have again that effervescence to scrub the palate nice and clean. And I mean, it's not a heavy drinking beer whatsoever, so you can eat a ton of food and still have some really great beer to pair alongside it, and you're probably going to go into that turkey coma anyway, but it's not going to be because of the beer, so that's great. So without a doubt, I'm excited to see how this pours. We're going to rely on surface tension to make sure that I don't spill this all over this desk. My laptop is right there. Yeah, but you can just see, based on just on the carbonation, very, very lively beer. Usually a Saison will pour that really nice kind of, I mean, in this lighting for me looks a little bit more honey colored. I guess what you guys would be seeing on camera is maybe a little bit more on like the copper end, but slightly hazy. Saisons usually will have a little bit of sediment resting at the bottom part of the bottle, but not a very robust beer at all in terms of body. Please, please don't overflow. All right, yeah, so you can really see that beautiful honey golden coloring. And I didn't even need to get it right under my nose before I immediately got a little bit of this it's a funky smell, and I really wish there was a better way to put it. I hate the word funk, but it is kind of like a farm aroma, like it's like a natural woods or like field funkiness to it. And then smelling that, I definitely pull out a little bit of ginger. I'm not smelling any of that star anise, so I'm okay with that. Maybe someone with a penchant for star anise would be kind of bummed. On the bottle, it did mention that they're using peppercorns, so I definitely get accents of like peppercorn, a little bit of ginger, and then some other spice. So you can finally give it a taste. And it is so good. Yeah, so again, Saison, the style itself usually has really, really pleasant fruity esters. This one, I honestly, I'm picking up a little bit of banana, but more so than banana, spice and ginger. And then in the taste profile, I definitely am getting more of that peppercorn, more of the ginger. And then it's a really quick, nice finish too. It's like I don't have any bitterness. I don't have any sweetness hanging around on my tongue. It's just kind of there, and then gone. So, I mean, really easy drinking. At 5.8% too, it's not the kind of beer that you're not going to be able to enjoy more than 2 or 3 glasses of. Well, you could definitely enjoy 2 or 3 glasses of. It's not the kind of beer that you're gonna go one and done on. So, which is perfect because the bottle is 500 milliliters, so you can drink the whole bottle and not feel bad. I love it. I love this beer so much. I'm so excited that this is the one that I decided to go with first. So yeah, I alluded to the fact that in the description they mention star anise. Even in the taste, maybe in the taste, the way that it finishes, I get a little bit of like a licoricey component, but like I said, it finishes very crisp and clean. So it's not too much for me, given that that's a flavor that I usually am not a fan of. Definitely peppercorn, ginger, turmeric. To me, this beer actually just tastes kind of like fall, and I know that it's March. Maybe that's not the kind of beer that everyone's looking forward to drinking right now. But I think just saison style, that's an all year beer. Especially, I'm excited to see what they put out come summertime. I'm hoping there's going to be some more saisons coming, just because anything with that estery component, and the light body that this beer has, and just the effervescence, and it's fantastic, especially come warm weather season. Yeah, so Steel and Oak, I love you guys. You are fantastic. I'm so happy that you were my first introduction to the Vancouver beer market. Definitely the brewery that kind of opened my eyes to the fact that a lot of the breweries up here are making sure that their portfolios are well-rounded. They're not just kind of pigeonholing themselves in brewing one style of beer with a couple different variants. And you did a wonderful job on that saison. So thank you so much for producing it. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to put out, and for everybody that sat through this channel or through this episode, and watched me drink a beer, I hope you had a beer of your own to enjoy while you were listening to me ramble on. But if you don't, like I said, Steel and Oak, they're down on 3rd Avenue in New Westminster, a 5-minute walk from the SkyTrain. Treat yourself on your way back out of the city after a long work week. Go grab a pint there. I think you'll really enjoy it. So thank you, everyone. Cheers to all of you for joining me, and hopefully I will see you guys on my next episode.